Well, good afternoon, friends, family. Good morning. Let me know if you're joining me. Let me know you can hear me, see me. Looks like I am online on Facebook and online for YouTube. Hey, for those of you that have already done so, thanks so much for joining me in my text community. I love the way that app allows me to reach out and share resources with each of you. Good morning, Jamie. Great to see you. Thanks for joining me. And you said you can hear me and see me. Thank you, Jamie. So I have to admit, I looked up at the clock and was like, oh, I better get online and start my live stream. That said, I didn't really have a message prepared for you today. So I'm open to conversation. I'm open to chatting about your thoughts from yesterday. Did you come up with anything? Any problems in the world you see that just make you angry and that you'd love to be able to do something about? Good afternoon, Laura. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. All the way from, I don't know if it's sunshiny today or not, but sunshiny Florida. Oh. So yeah, if you were here yesterday, what are your thoughts from yesterday's conversation? Again, if you're just joining me, I looked up at the clock and was like, "Ooh, I wasn't quite ready for today." So, but it's been a much better day for those of you that have been with me this week. It's been a slow recovery, recharge effort, but finally got there. What do I think of vision boards? Oh, Laura, I think a vision board is an excellent way. To have a active reminder of the things that drive you, right? Simon Sinek, talks about having your why, and it is sunny and hot in Florida. Thank you. So Simon Sinek talks about having your why, and I think it's important to understand your why. Why are you pursuing the things that you are? Hopefully, those are your dreams. In your dreams, if you paint that picture of them and put it on the wall and put it in your mirror, put it in your car, or whatever, that allows you to stay focused on what it is that you're living for, right? So I love vision boards, and as a matter of fact, I have mine right here. This is actually the first time I did one. I love the concept, but I don't consider myself very artistically creative. And it was a challenge, but I thought about it and I finally made some. So, oh, Jared, good to see you, my friend. You made it on the wrong day, brother. Well, it's not every day is the right day, but today I didn't really have a message prepared, as I was telling some other folks. Yeah, I was talking about a vision board. Laura had asked us what my thoughts were on vision boards, and so that's the focus of today is what questions do you have? What topics would you like to chat about just a tad bit? Jared, be careful what you say here. I'm just teasing. I've got visitors. Yeah, I love it, Jared. Jared says he's building one and he's having his kids do the same. I think they're wonderful as a reminder of where we're trying to go, what the reason is that's driving us, and staying in touch with those things, right? Putting your dreams up there, those visions of success in your future, and why you're trying to achieve it. Jamie says she had a do it for her river vision board, a la Homer Simpson, at work before the world stopped. Yeah, so I love it. I love that all of you are engaged in the vision board piece. Am I reading anything interesting right now? So every day, let me share with you. Hold on a second. And that was a question from Jamie. Jared, is that Eleanor the car? Are we talking about the car? I love that. I have an old 80s style K5 blazer on my vision board in blue and white. So right now I'm reading another book by Dan Miller. This is like a daily read. I've read you some things out of it before, but it's the rudder of the day. So that's one thing that I'm actively reading on a regular basis, and at least until I get through it. And I'll probably actually go back because the concepts are great. And no, this week, I haven't been reading this week. So I do try to read about 10 minutes a day at the very least, but this week it's just been crazy and I haven't done it, if I'm being honest. And I do have a book on my bookshelf that I keep looking at. I can't remember the title. I will share that with you the first part of next week, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. I'm doing 2 classes that I'm trying to wrap up as well. So I'm reading all of that. There's a lot of, because I attend Liberty University, there's a lot of Bible study content. There's 3 books actually, and then a digital marketing class because I have to maintain my credentials with the VA. So I have to keep taking marketing classes with Liberty or a college. Let's see. Laura says she's been wanting to make a vision board, and I'll have to do it. Having my kids do it I think, yeah, having your kids do it. What a wonderful idea. A great demonstration of a way to set the standard there, Jared. Company of One. You'll have to tell us about that, Jared. Yep, 1967 Shelby GT 500. I thought you were talking about Eleanor the car. It's only one, I know. But, I mean, you could have been talking about a person, I guess. So yesterday, if you were just joining us today and you weren't here, yesterday I talked a little bit about how people have successfully solved some of the, or I guess working to solve, not solve, but addressing some of the bigger problems in the world around us. And we've got a lot to go through. But I posed the question that what in the world today just makes you angry when you think about it, and what can we do about it? I explained that I don't have all the answers, but I listened to the Dreamer documentary, or I watched the Dreamer documentary online the other night, and was fascinated that these 2 young men in high school started with just a problem that made them angry. And the boy went to school and he said, I don't know what to do about it, but will you help me? And it's turned into the We movement. If you've ever heard anything about that, the We movement is worldwide with, I think I don't know, that 16,000 young people attend each of their events throughout the world. I think they said they do 32 live events. Of course, right now, things are a bit challenging, but up to that point, they were hosting events around the world 32 times a year with more than 16,000 people in attendance. And they're building schools and putting clean water and access to clean water with recurring revenues to help maintain the wells and the things that they realized at some point along the way they were building, that those things would just be, become dilapidated and no longer usable unless they built sustainable systems in that environment, the ecosystems to support all the things they were doing. Wonderful story, fascinating, and just inspiring. Let's see here. Company of One, Jared says, Company of One is by Paul Jarvis. He talks about streamlining, I'm guessing, your processes so that you can stay small and run a lean business. Yeah, okay. I am familiar. I haven't read it, but I've heard. And then we need to get back to basics, Jared says. People stop talking and new ideas, discussing them without starting fights or destroying their cities. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know who was here the other day, but I talked about right now, our society is this culture of cancellation, where if your idea is not the same as mine, or your opinion is not the same as mine, I discount, discredit, and disrespect you. And the fact is that, yes, we need to get back to a culture of being able to listen, being able to respect that other people have other ideas, and it's not always going to be the same, and not everybody's going to be right, but that's okay, right? How do we learn? Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that, Jared. What else do y'all have for me today? I'm open. You know, I was thinking this morning, and I didn't get my thoughts clear before I started, but I was thinking about this. How do you show up as your best self when you go somewhere, when you go to work, when you go to meet with a client? You know, Jared's helped me with a few clients. Thank you so much, Jared, for all your help. Excellent coding skills. If you need somebody to do some custom development work on the back end of a website um, that requires some coding, that's who I go to. And he's been super helpful. It takes him very little time to do some of the things that I've asked, and just a great person to know. And we usually spend more time on the phone than we plan to when we start out. But oh yeah, first 3 minutes of newsroom. I remember that. I think we're talking about the same thing. Um, Greatest moment in TV. Yeah. What else we got? Let's see here. Yeah, I apologize to you. I mean, I knew I had to show up. I had to be present here for you because that's my commitment. I'm also supposed to come a little bit better prepared. I'm just glad today is actually Friday. You know, I like this. I live, and I hope my mitt's not distracting everybody, but I like to live with this mentality of every day is Friday. And this week it actually it caught me off guard a couple of times. So um, Tuesday I couldn't, for whatever reason, I was just off track. I didn't know what day it was. And then Wednesday I had a bit of a rough day. Yesterday was doing some more recovery. And today I'm finally back on track. I've got a lot going on this morning, and just, yeah, I didn't prepare as much as I would like. Yes, Jared. Yes. Uh, and we chat about all kinds of stuff, so it's great. And that's what we're doing here today. We're just chatting about what's on your mind. What things can I offer? What insights might I be able to help with? What problem can we solve together? Laura says TGIF for sure. Yeah, well, I still got a lot to do today, and it's going to be a long day, but I'm definitely glad. I'll take some time off this weekend. Jamie says she didn't really have anything positive to add, and it's okay not to have notes prepared and to not have an agenda. Yeah, I know. I feel like that's part of me showing up as my best self, and my commitment to you all for being here to support me is to come a little bit better prepared. But thank you for the grace. And Jared says, taking time off your day job is worthwhile. I'm on leave today. I've got more time for activities. Yes, that's a win. I agree. It's always nice when you can just take some time away and do the things. And that's really what started me on this whole process, was how do I help people do more of that? How do I help people see that they can be productive, purposeful, and profitable in their work? And the other aspects of their lives. It is possible. We just have to stop letting other people's visions of what our world should be get in our way. We have to be deliberate about living our own dreams, getting back in touch with what those dreams might be. So for me, those dreams were lost because I spent so much time living for other people. Serving in the Army taught me to dedicate my time, my energy, my service in service of others. And they didn't really teach us how to manage that balance and reflect back on our own personal stuff, right? It was always about the mission and the people. And when I stepped away, I realized that, yeah, I didn't have a clue anymore what it was I really wanted to do. And that's what I've been working on, is getting back in touch with those things. It's led to some pretty decent successes. I signed a new client yesterday afternoon. So just good experiences. But I want to encourage other people that all of that is possible. And, you know, we can talk through that, certainly. There's steps you can take to start moving in that direction. It all takes introspection. If I know a topic, let's see here. If I know a topic, read a book. So actually the workshop or the seminar that I facilitate is based on the works of Dan Miller, who wrote 48 Days to the Work and Life You Love. Well, Work You Love. And then the most recent edition, they added Work and Life, because they added a couple chapters that addressed a bit more. And then they licensed about 20 of us, 18 of us, to offer those seminars throughout the country. So we're working on launching those right now, helping people find or create a life and a work that is both purposeful and profitable, and building the life they love. Jared says he's writing a book now about email etiquette, and I didn't realize how much I actually knew about it. I've been observing email use for 15 years and saddened by a lack of standards. Now, while writing the book, I'm discovering that I've actually got systems in place for it all. I love that, Jared. And yeah, absolutely. I encourage anybody that has knowledge or information to share to do a book, to do a live stream, to do whatever it is to share that message. And here's a friend of mine named Dr. Fred Jones. We're friends here on Facebook too. I don't know if he ever pops into this stream or not, but Dr. Jones shared something profound with me that kicked off a couple things. And one of them was simply that we all have unique experiences in our lives. We have unique education, not formal education. We might have that as well, but the experience leads to an informal education in our lives. And our vision of things looks different from other people's. If we don't do the work to share our experiences with other people in the form of story, whether that's a book or chats or whatever it may be, if we don't do our part to share that message, we are depriving somebody of something they desperately need today to get over something that they're facing, right? So that'll be great, Jared. And I have something for you. I'll share something with you, Jared. I'll send you an email maybe early next week that you can add to your list of stuff to include in the book. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, because it's hard to get context out of text and email. And I have a solution that not many people are using. Let's see here. Laura says, so what's the baby step to getting back to me first or my wants? Well, I think number one is showing up here. Thank you. I don't want to brag or pat myself on the back. So that's a great question. And let's just say that, first of all, it's a recognition that you may have lost touch with your dreams. You may feel like you're not where you were meant to be in life. I think that's the first step. This is just the recognition that there's something that has to change. And then starting to get back in touch with what your dreams look like. That's where I would start. That's where I started, is just doing some reflection, internalization, introspection, whatever you call it, and thinking about what makes me passionate. What are my skills and abilities that I've gained over a lifetime? What did the military teach me that I could use in the life and business that I'm building? All of those things is starting to take inventory, I think, is the best place to start, Laura. But gratitude helps. Practicing gratitude exercises. I suggest starting with writing down the 3 things that you're grateful for each day, or three things that are small wins or big wins that occurred each day. Those practices I find are super helpful in just allowing us to create some space in our mind and change some of that energy that we experience. And I'm not trying to be like all woo-woo, although I do have a great friend who's a mindfulness practitioner, and he teaches some similar things, but it's all about how do we start force feeding positivity into our lives, and just practicing gratefulness is a huge piece of how we can start getting back to that. So I think that would be helpful. Mission first. Yes, same for the Army, Jared. Clear P and shooting straight. Thanks for the laugh. It's true though. Yes, Jamie. Jamie replied to Jared. She said, please include the discouragement of text speak in email. Completely unprofessional, especially if we're talking about work emails. Yeah, well, and it's, I mean, Jared, that is exactly what we're talking about. It is figuring out what you want, and then taking steps to get there. The first step in that process is what does it look like? What do I want? And then start creating a simple plan with simple action steps to move you into that direction. But to discover it, I think it starts with getting in touch with yourself a little bit better. For me, it was those dreams and those realities that I've tucked away for whatever reason, resurfacing some of that, and then starting to take that inventory of the things, and then learning how all of those things fit together so that I could work towards building something, and then defining what that something might look like is kind of the approach that I took. And that's kind of that's part of the approach that we teach in the 48 Days seminar. Laura says she knows what she wants. I know what I want to do, or my passion, but getting people on my side is the issue. Laura, you just keep doing you. You stay passionate about it. Here's the thing. I talked about this yesterday, and maybe earlier this week too. You, Jared, Jamie, Will, Angela, all the people that have joined us here, whoever else might be listening, you are a leader. Here's the deal with leadership. Leadership is all about influence. Whether you have one friend or 10, whether you're a new employee, a senior employee, mid-level employee, whether you're self-employed, you have people around you. Some of those people already trust and like you. Some of them might not know who you are. But your actions, the way you treat others, is directly attributed to what they see in you and your ability to influence. So if you have those people around you at all, you are a leader. You have the ability to influence them. How are you going to influence them would be the question, right? You show how passionate you are about your thing, and don't let anyone tell you. This is the whole Dreamer documentary. Don't let anyone take your dream from you. Don't let anyone steal your passion. You continue to pursue it regardless of what those people tell you, because they're going to be naysayers. They're going to people that tell you you can never do that. They're going to be people that tell you, get your head out of the clouds. You're not going to be successful if you do that. How are you going to make money? You're going to hear all of the things. Don't let them stop you. Yeah, and Jared's got some good replies in there. I agree, and I just wasn't prepared to get too deep in those topics today, but we'll certainly take those into consideration for future live streams. Maybe Monday we can talk a bit more about that, and I'll have put together some simple action steps that we can go through. As a matter of fact, I think I added something in here in my notes 2 weeks ago. But yeah, don't let them steal your passion. Your passion is what they're going to see, and that's what's going to allow you to attract here. Man, yeah. So as you grow in your passion, your circle will change. The people who you surround yourself with right now, you'll discover that some of them will phase themselves out. And it's okay. You know, there might be some that you want to keep, but don't let that discourage you, because you're going to find your people the more you pursue your passion. Those people who are most interested in the things that you do, the things you talk about, the things you want to be, the people who want to support you, the people that want to cheer for you are going to start showing up. And your comment just, I think, tied very well into what I just came to. It just said that wasn't planned, I promise. She said, it's funny, I know all of that, and I feel very confident, but not having certain people in my corner is the issue. No, I absolutely agree. It's frustrating, it's hard when we don't feel like people are supporting us, especially if they're close to us. And yeah, that can be difficult. So I just encourage you to move forward, move in the direction that you want to go. Stay focused on your dream, your passion. Show the people around you what that passion looks like, and it'll catch on. You know, think about the positive influence piece. Negativity. I talked about this the other day too, right? We allow negative thoughts into our mind, and they will take over just like that. We have to be force-feeding positivity into our minds, and eventually that will take over too. But think about a smile. How contagious, infectious is just a simple smile? It doesn't take on right away, but it does influence how other people respond in kind. If you smile at someone, oftentimes they'll smile back, whether they meant to or not. Take notice. Share positivity, share your passions, and it will catch on. Eventually, it will catch on like wildfire, and you'll continue to be excited and grow in that thing. Hey, Jared, I appreciate you chiming in. Good supporting comments in there. I absolutely agree. And Laura, yeah, it can be difficult. It can be complicated. And all I'd say is that's the whole problem we're talking about over the last however long. There's so many people out there who see the world as this thing. You have to do these things to be successful. You have to go to school. You have to get a good job. You have to get the house with the white picket fence. And I'm here to tell you it's simply not true. You don't have to live other people's versions of success or what responsibility looks like. Prove them wrong. Jared says his quote, anything worth having is never easily earned. And yeah, that's true. You know, it's never an easy road, but if it were easy, then would everybody do it? And then would it be worthwhile at that point? Probably not, right? The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is the ability to take action, not just to decide to take action. Well, I feel like this has been a productive conversation, and I appreciate all of you chiming in. It's been, will help me close out the week with some positivity, some positive influences, some things to think about, some messages to prepare, so that I might show up more fully for you next week. And I started to talk about that for a second, and then we got on to another topic. Thank you. But yeah, how do we show up more fully for people? That was the question. And it just, I think the answer comes down to just authenticity. Show up, be authentic, do your best to be your best self, not for other people, not so other people can think something of you one way or another, but for you. Thank you, Laura. I'm glad you found it productive. I thought it was a good conversation. It's weird that y'all are chatting with me here and I'm talking to you, but it's interesting how these evolve. And so I appreciate the interaction. I appreciate the support. I'm grateful that all of you are here. With that, I think I'll close out for the day, and we'll see you all next week, same time, 12 Eastern, right here. I'm also on YouTube, and some people, I keep getting these spam comments with porn links, so don't click on them if you visit the channel on YouTube. I keep reporting them, keep removing them, but see what we can do about it. Anyway, hey, you all have a wonderful weekend. If you haven't joined my text community, I'll throw that up here really quickly. Text the word friend to 757-210-4418, where we can continue the conversation. I send some information over there occasionally out to each of you, and we've had a couple different chats going, and I appreciate all the interaction there as well. So with that, y'all have an outstanding weekend. Let me know if I can do anything for you.